Today on the Topic Show, Representative Maxine Waters harasses a guard outside the Department of Education. AOC has a meltdown saying that Democrats actually outnumber Trump, Elon, and Republicans. The CDC now shows a suggestion for adoption when you search for abortion. California Attorney General tells hospitals to ignore Trump's executive order and to continue providing trans surgeries and drugs to kids. New Audi has options for a 3-pedal, but only in Europe. The Dodge Hornet GLH is coming soon, but without a HEMI. And Toyota is recalling about 140,000 vehicles. All of that, much more on The Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of The Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say, he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase. Yes, it does come with a fun Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15 like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more, or click the URL in the video description below. Also, planning our first live stream Q&A, going to be Saturday, February 22nd in the evening. I'll go ahead and keep you all posted, but definitely line up those questions and perhaps I love answers. Lastly, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, you have the new Audi getting a manual option for 5 speeds of glory, but only in Europe, and less than 100 horsepower. Upside, finally a vehicle to make my Honda Civic look speedy. Now, this comes to us thanks to Motor1.com, specifically Adrian, who's a writer over there, in which he says, quote, you can still buy a new Audi with a 5-speed manual, but it only gets 94 horsepower, which, you know a car is low horsepower when a Honda Civic looks like a juggernaut in comparison, which, again, I love my Honda Civic SI. It's got a stick shift and it's fun green colored and a coupe, and downshifting to the corner on a track, can't beat that feeling, but let's just say when you're going to straightaway on the back track, and a Mazda Miata passes you, it is a little bit depressing. Now, not to brag, but I have 205 horsepower in my 2018 Honda Civic Si. Well, I actually do have a kit and cold air intake, so probably 207 horsepower, plus a 50 more horsepower because I do cliche, yes, put the K&N sticker on the window. So, I mean, that's probably rounding up to 300 horsepower according to the Reddit users. Now, I'll give Audi some credit. Interior actually looks pretty good. Obviously reminiscent of a Volkswagen vehicle. Well, makes sense. Same parent company, Volkswagen. Now, yeah, I wouldn't mind that. It's obviously the basic entry-level trim level for the vehicle, which I actually do appreciate. There's mostly knobs and physical buttons, so you actually, get to the things you want immediately, not go through 18 steps on a touchscreen like Stellantis products. Now, diving into the article by Adrian, saying, quote, 3-pedal cars are becoming increasingly rare in the luxury segment, as only a handful of automakers are trying to save the manual. To which I love them very, very much. Examples include the Acura Integra, the Cadillac CT4V, the Cadillac CT5V Blackwing, which, of all the things GM makes in their portfolio, I mean, I've driven the Cadillac CT4V Blackwing, twin turbo with a V6 and a stick shift, pretty fun. I've never, but would love to drive the Cadillac CT5V Blackwing, V8 with a stick shift. It's sad that it's the last one that GM has, the Corvette's automatic only. Ugh. I mean, that's beautiful hand-engineered, beautiful engine under that hood of the GM vehicle. And that is also 6 figures, so unfortunately a little bit above my pay grade these days. But it is also Cadillac, so maybe in 5 years it'll depreciate to like 20 grand. I'm only partially exaggerating. Now they also say, including the BMW M2, M3, M4, and Z4 M40i, you'd be surprised to hear that Audi still lets you roll your own gears in one of its cars, but not nearly as exciting as the ones you mentioned. The A1 is available in some markets with a stick shift, which, yeah, I really cannot believe Audi killed the TT. That was their fun little coupe, which, again, I actually think it had 5 cylinders and it had a stick shift option and even some turbo. I mean, you see them, they're pretty rare to find them at the track, but it is a great track toy, and they're pretty unique. You really don't see them that much. Like, if I had to own an Audi, and I didn't, let's exclude the Audi R8 because those are 6 figures if you want a nice one with a stick shift. I mean, the TTs are so cool underrated. I wish they didn't kill them, but again, emissions and all that kind of stuff, they're killing more and more fun things. Here you can see the exterior of this Audi, which It's not great. It's okay. Let's just say you're not going to win any beauty awards there. Now, they say, quote, from cloth seats and manual air conditioning to blank buttons and the absence of central armrest, the entry-level A1 makes a lot of concessions to keep the price low, but you're still paying $24,000 nearly in Germany for the cheapest car Audi sells, so not exactly a bargain. What? I mean, that's not too bad. For an entry, maybe I'm overvaluing it, but personally, again, for $24,000, it's slightly more luxurious than a Volkswagen, debatably. But that much for an entry-level vehicle? For Audi? I don't know, not that bad. Don't get me wrong, I'd still be scared of the mechanical bills. But I don't know, $24,000 doesn't seem terrible, but let me know if your thoughts on that price point. Now, they say that the A1 is based on the Volkswagen Polo, which makes sense, VW portfolio, which kicks off at a lower price point of $20,500 in its home market. The mechanically related, this is a funny car company name. People, believe it or not, this is a car company name, the Seat, which they're also inside every vehicle. The Seat Ibiza is also cheaper at $19,100. They continue saying, quote, if you think that the A1 is not worthy of the four rings, the subcompact hatchback is actually living on borrowed time. Once the current generation dies, Audi will axe its smaller model as it makes the A3 its entry-level model. Another lesser-known model from Ingolstadt, which I'm definitely butchering that, but not on purpose, facing retirement in Q2, as the B segment crossover won't be renewed either. And here you can see the rear of the vehicle, which looks as good as the front, I suppose. They say that Audi still trailed behind Tesla last year. Even the volume-oriented products such as the A1 and Q2, which the fact that they did not, maybe they did, I don't think they did. The fact they did include like a free bottle of A1 sauce with that car, I mean, that just seems like a lost marketing opportunity. Come on, Volkswagen. But I digress. With 1.7 million units delivered, the Model 3 and Model Y outsold the entire Audi lineup in 2024. The German brand shipped 1.6 million cars last year, down 11.8% from 2023. Let's see, click through these pictures really quick. Again, it doesn't look too bad. But $5,000 more than the VW. Now, the seats look atrocious. I mean, it almost looks like a rendering of a seat from PlayStation 2, the OG entertainment system. I mean, it reminds me of the Mitsubishi Mirage when it comes to the actual seats. The bolstering is technically there, but it looks very, very plain. Again, this is an entry-level model, but still leaves a lot to be desired. Still $125,000 for somewhat luxury vehicle. And again, you got stick. Again, I do overvalue vehicles that have a stick shift. I'll be honest. It's obviously one of my little fun passion things I like to look into. But yeah, I mean, most vehicles these days usually have a 6-speed manual transmission. Some even have a 7-speed, like most of the Porsches or a lot of the Porsches, and even the C7 Corvette, appropriately named, not just a 7th generation, but had a 7-speed manual transmission when they made that in the good old days, when they had the engine in front, as it was really made to be. And it also had, 3 pedals, as all Corvettes should by default. The new one's just automatic only. So pathetic. But another topic for another time, perhaps. So it is nice that they have a little Audi a little bit left. I wish they brought more of these to America. I'm not sure what the take rate would be, but I don't know. Some good news, seeing a stick shift out there still, even if it's just temporary, made me smile, and I want to kind of bring that up today. So let me know, especially if you're a European viewer or listener, have you seen these on the streets before? And is the Audi brand more powerful in Europe than it is in the United States? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, the Dodge Hornet GLH is coming, but not with HEMI. But it will attempt to be sporty for all 18 people who want to buy it. Now, this comes to us thanks to Adam, who's a writer at The Drive. He says, quote, "Scoop, the Dodge Hornet GLH concept will be entering production this year. The Hornet GLH, okay, there's a cute acronym, goes like hell, will get more power and a performance suspension to carry on the legacy, I don't know about this, of Cara Shelby's Dodge Omni GLH, which, yeah, let's just say I don't think Shelby would like this one. Now, visually, it does look slightly better than the standard Dodge, which, I mean, it's almost impossible not to. If you were to go to AutoZone and spend $18 on the crap accessories you use the tape to put on cars, you could also make any Dodge look better than it does come from the factory in their current capacity. But I partially digress. They say the Dodge Hornet is an attractive and feisty crossover in theory. It's not. Though it's proven to fickle in one execution, early cars exhibited serious software issues, particularly the RT spec with a plug-in hybrid option. Oh, Jesus. You have all the crap Stellantis makes when it comes to reliability. I wouldn't trust that. Sales finally began to move in the right direction last year because they discounted the shit out of them. Oh, no, wait, that's me saying that. Yeah, anecdotally, I know one friend who has a Dodge, and actually, what are the odds of this? I have one friend who has a Dodge and he has two. Something's wrong with him. I might have to have an intervention with him. Now, he got the Dodge, the Ram 1500. It makes sense. He got the last good one, the V8. But then he got the SUV. He got the Hornet. Now, it was like 20% off MSRP. The MSRP on that vehicle was like $45,000. Out the door from the dealership was like 32 or 33. Like, they started to move them because they discounted the crap out of them because they knew they had to. Because no one was buying them at the current MSRP. Okay, maybe 18 people were. Not enough to stay in business. Now, they say that, quote, but 2025 holds promise for a new model for another reason. The nostalgic Hornet GLH concept from 2.5 years ago will soon become reality, according to Dodge CEO Matt McClure. The Hornet GLH was a concept, but you should see it arriving this calendar year. I'll leave it at that, he said in response to the drive during a roundtable interview. And if we should get credit to anyone, want to make sure the new chief executive keeps his word, it ought to be to his family. My sons have a Hornet, he said. And all the time they're like, when is GLH coming? When is GLH coming? What kind of cruel father gives his son that vehicle? Again, I don't think you're entitled to anything. I didn't have a vehicle growing up. I had to borrow my parents when I was a kid. I don't think you're entitled to get like a free car from your parents. I think that's not really good for entitlement, that you have to work for things. I think that's best in life. Now, when they get a car, in terms of when you're a son, you're a young man or man in general, you think of all the things Dodge makes, which they make some things that are good. The Viper, well, discontinued, but of all the things they make, maybe get a Hellcat, a nice Charger or Challenger, which sometimes has 3 pedals. I don't know any guys excited to be like, oh yeah, I got a Hornet SUV. I know soccer moms like that, but his dad, he's like, Dad, when are we getting the performance SUV? I still don't believe the story. And much respect to he says, most respect to the CEO of Boys, who obviously know their history. The Hornet GLH was a callback to the Dodge Omni GLH, designed no other than Carroll Shelby during his Chrysler years. GLH stood for Goes Like Hell, and the hot-rodded hatch certainly did, offering up to 146 horsepower for a 2.2-liter turbo inline-4 in the vehicle that weighed less than 2,200 pounds. It was an icon of the 80s of accessible performance, which is precisely the legacy Dodge appears to want for its entry-level Hornet today, which, again, Dodge has had some great bang for your bucks. One of my favorite would be the Dodge SRT4, the tricked-out neon. I actually learned how to drive stick shift from a buddy who had one of those. It's a nice black neon SRT. Well, I think technically you literally just call it the SRT. It was turbocharged, 4-cylinder from the factory, big old brakes. That was a fun car. This is an SUV that'll have some stuff bolted onto it, apparently. And this might hurt your eyes, but we'll see another angle of the SUV. Which is it the Temu version? They made it moderately, like a little more sporty, but not really. They say, quote, oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But they say, interestingly, when Dodge reinforced the GLH label for the Hornet's launch in August 2022, it did so with not one but 2 concepts, each based on the crossover's base GT and hybrid RT trims. These mostly served to show the car duty to demonstrate that it could be possible through Mopar's slate of direct connection parts. Dodge said they incorporated power bumping stage kits and lower suspensions, but no hard performance numbers were mentioned. Still, they give us hope that the brand may not constrain the label to the Hornet's pricier configuration. Oh geez, what are these going to start at? For reference, the Hornet GT starts at $33,180, offers 268 horsepower and 295 foot-pound of torque for its turbocharged 4-liter Hurricane inline-4. Not bad value in round numbers, especially for roughly 3,700-pound SUV. But the Hornet RT will start at $43,000, $240, and gets as high as $49,080 for a range-topping RT model, which, bang for your buck, it'll be a lot more fun. Get a 2009 Porsche, what was it? The Cayenne GTS, a V8 with a stick shift and an SUV. It's got true horsepower and fun. Or you can get this POS. They say, fortunately, it seems like McLaren and the company now understand how essential pricing is to a car like the Hornet. This year, we got a lot of things, or he said, quote, this year, we got a lot of things in play, repositioned to the price point. Again, we just announced to our dealers that we're going to have this price point starting at, under $30,000, which is good marketing because it works. As silly as it sounds, it's $29,995. to get it back down in MSRP to focus on the ICE models. New option packages will also break apart premium content, which is currently bundled with the plus trims, giving buyers a little more a la carte freedom inspecting the cars, which, yeah, once you got all the heated seats and the infotainment, all that kind of stuff, the MSRP gets comical on these things, like many vehicles. They say if Dodge can embody that message while making the GLH a compelling performance proposition, the Hornet will still find its way to hearts and minds of enthusiasts. Will it? Again, there are people who love performance vehicles. I'm one of them. There are people who want, take the regular vehicle, add some performance, add some upgrades. It's a great hit. The Honda Civic Si being one of the best bar none, and Honda Civic Type R being even a tier above that, and Honda OG made more stick shifts than any other manufacturer in 2024. Awesome. But when it comes to the SUV, again, people like that. Dodge used to make crazy SUVs. They used to put a Hellcat engine into an SUV. Like, they used to do some crazy, wild shit back in the day. And again, the Dodge CEO who made Dodge great again, some might argue, is back. And he's telling publicly, like, people are asking him, will they have the V8 HEMI in the standard 1500 pickup truck again? And he's saying he has to look at the research and the sales numbers in 2025. So again, send him a message. Don't buy anything that has the twin turbo V6 in their platforms if you want to get that HEMI back standard. And again, I think Dodge they need to get back to the core of what Dodge was. Fun, bombastic, loud, awesome cars when you get to the high trim levels. Again, I'm not saying don't make the economical, entry-level vehicle. That's one of the best value propositions out there. The Dodge Challenger, they actually had a model start at like $23,000 to $26,000 for like the entry-level, I believe it's the V6. And then you get up to like the Hellcat, Demon, Banana Falcon option. It's like $112,000, $113,000. And all the options in between. And obviously, you can get more profitability when you have more bells and whistles. That was great. Literally a car model for everyone. It's a good idea. But, I really think for this to be really successful with the enthusiasts, well, they won't do it, but they should have 3 pedals. I'm a little biased. Obviously, I love stick shift vehicles. It's all I ever bought. It's all I'll ever own. And I think that'd be really cool to have 3 pedals and or at least the option for it. Because that would get some headlines, be very unique, differentiate yourself from the competition. The only other stick shift SUV on the market in the US, new, is the Bronco, which there are some people who want to actually get to work and not be on the side of the road all day, as Bronco has now had 8 recalls thus far since they started production of the vehicle. Not good, to say the least. Another thing they could really do, again, for the top trim level for this vehicle, which, again, it'll be a low volume unit, but great for marketing and advertising, put in a big, bombastic V8 in this thing. It would be comical how large that engine would be to cram that into this little crossover SUV thingamajig. But again, if you look at the things that really made Dodge great a couple years ago, that really won over hearts and minds of enthusiasts and got people interested in platforms, it was that. Just stupid, loud fun. No one's going to dip. And again, the top trim levels, no one's going to damn about fuel economy. I understand you have government interventionism that's forcing them to make EVs and crossovers and hybrids and all that crap. Again, part of that is also market related. Consumers do like hybrids. That's growing. But for the top line, make it fun again. Do it, Dodge. Again, the styling isn't terrible. It looks okay. Looks like they also got some extra nice rims. In theory, they should have some giant Brembo brakes on there as well. Hood was slightly more angular and aggressive. Got some extra paint slapped on there. A little extra logo painted, or was presumably just adhesive, sticker taped onto the fender there. Still think they can do better than design personally. Tweak it a little bit more. It looks better than the standard, of course. But yeah, if Dodge really wants to turn heads and really get people excited, do something crazy. Do something no one's expecting. Put a crazy big old V8 in there. Add a stick shift option. Go all out. Get people excited about the brand again. You got to do something different. Remember Dodge sales in 2024? They crashed 40+%. Same with profitability. Stellantis is in trouble. They're rough. They got to do something different. So again, they say this concept is going to come to the forefront. We'll see how awesome it is be. And again, every time you do these high, really premium trim levels, it's not going to be a big volume unit sold, but I think it'd be a great way to differentiate yourself and make people excited to buy Dodge again. When was the last time anyone was excited to buy Dodge? Like the Hellcat Demon, that was epic. 0 to 60 in 1.66 seconds, a giant V8 engine. It was great. And then they decided to go all in on EVs. Yeah. So we'll see. Let me know in the comments. Every time I walk past like an old, old Dodge SUV with a Hellcat engine. I literally just smile ear to ear. You see the Brembo brakes the size of your foot. And it's different enough to get your attention, but only enthusiasts will notice it. It just makes me smile a little bit. Kind of like when I walk past a car and I see it's got 3 pedals and a little stick shift. It makes me just smile a little bit and picks up my day. But let me know your thoughts in the comments because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going over to the cultural podcast, you have the California Attorney General telling hospitals to ignore Trump's executive order and continuing to provide transgender surgeries and pharmaceuticals to children. Now, some might argue this is the culture of California. Granted, based on the 2024 election map, it's actually mostly red these days, which I also would say shows the cultural change in California, but the cities, are still deep, deep blue. Now, this comes with thanks to Liz at TikTok, in which she says, quote, breaking, California Attorney General Rob Bonta told a hospital to ignore Trump's executive order and continue providing puberty blockers and sex change surgery to minors, or they will be in violation of discrimination laws. So now these hospitals are stuck between a rock and a hard place. And some of these hospitals receive federal funding as well. So there's another variable. And again, that's why the federal government, their laws matter when it comes to hospitals and that such, because again, they have a relationship with them. So putting these hospitals between a rock and a hard place. Now, this went pretty viral. Got 1.1 million views and 31,000 likes. One of the first comments comes from Paul Zupa saying, quote, revoke AG Bonta's legal license, getting 499 likes. Scrolling down, you have Lauren G, who says, quote, Robert Andres Bonta can go back to his home country in the Philippines and spew this crap. This is America, damn it, and we're not having it. Which, I don't know, for some reason, every time I see America, I just in my head hear that vernacular pronunciation. Do you? Now, scrolling down more and more, it looks like, let's see, criminal justice reform. Yes, more ineptitudes of the culture and, well, politicians in California, but you get what you vote for. Now, it says Bonta State Senator Robert Hertzberg co-authored Senate Bill 10, which, when passed, made California the first state in the nation to eliminate money bail for suspect awaiting trial and replace it with risk assessment system. Yeah, how's that working out for you? Not well at all. Let's see here. Let's see. He also says McCarthy era ban on Communist Party members holding government jobs. The bill received criticism from Republicans, veteran groups, Vietnamese Americans. It began blatantly defensive of all Californians after passing the law. So a couple extra laws there. It got 642 likes. Corn Pop. Is that really Corn Pop? Corn Pop is bad, man. Come on now. And it said, well, they just point out, hey, this Robert was born, and I'm not trying to butcher the city, Quezon, Quezon, Quezon City, Philippines, and he's age 52. I got 411 likes. Smiley says, quote, I feel for you. You're going to be a very busy lady. Can you help support we the people? Do what we need to do. AG Bonta getting America First flag. Let's see here. Yeah, JG Trades. Stock market, perhaps. Saying, quote, Democrats have made their life worse to turn your kids gay. There you see a slightly creepier than usual, which is saying something drag queen, I believe. And it says the slippery slope of LGBTQ. 1995, love is love, just want acceptance, please. 2005, we just want equality. 2012, bake the cake or go to court. 2015, say my pronouns or lose your job. 2024, the kids must watch our drag braids. Which, yeah, it is, culturally speaking, fascinating and quite concerning where some people are being coerced to use pronouns at their place of employment. Being in the tech industry, I actually know some friends who are directly impacted on that. And one of which actually chose to walk away from his place of employment because of it. And they're actually being bullied, saying you have to put your pronouns in your signature. And on LinkedIn, which I would argue your LinkedIn page is very personal to you. It is very concerning to have your employer dictate those things. It's a little, it definitely rubs me the wrong way. That got 121 likes. Scrolling down more and more, you have Gail saying, quote, so that creep Bonta and Tish James in New York City want hospitals to continue to abuse and mutilate children. These leftist creatures are no different than Nazi Joseph Mengele. They're disgusting and all need to be in prison so they can't hurt any more children. Getting 905 likes, which, again, at the end of the day, I think this will make it to the Supreme Court in regards to, will these doctors lose their medical licenses? And will they, I suspect they'll actually be eventually prosecuted and actually sued by the people who are receiving these, what they are calling treatments, and it'll be classified as medical malpractice in the future. I think culturally, more and more people are realizing this is having a direct impact on kids, And yeah, it's one of those things where they claim all these things are reversible. No, they're absolutely not. And yeah, if you look at world history, a lot of people bring up Joseph Mengele, who was one of the most evil scientists in history. And yeah, there's a reason the Nazis employed him, and he had some horrifying experiments and procedures that he practiced and ran during World War II. Interestingly enough, actually, what is it called? I cannot see the author, but one of the books on my shelf that I have not read yet, but it's on the roster the next couple of years, is about World War II and his involvement. But yeah, medical industry can be quite horrifying. David Sullivan, I will respect his pronouns this time. His pronouns are prosecute Fauci, saying, quote, Bonta wants to be governor so bad, and says, it's a picture of Gavin Newsom. It says, we built this shithole. Come to California where you can shit on the sidewalk, shoot up in public, sleep in a tent, or roast marshmallows at any one of our statewide riders. Getting 627 likes and no community note at all because, yeah, that's that most of a dystopian place. I always tell people, can you name me one business that has moved to California in the past 10 years? Yeah, not really, but hundreds have left. Hundreds have left. Scrolling down more and more. Pardoned by Big Guy says, quote, California is a horror movie in real life. And they have a little speech bubble by that attorney general saying, quote, I want to give hormones to children, getting 98 likes. Yeah, California also passed a law so that schools don't need to tell parents if they want to start socially transitioning the kids in terms of, pushing pronouns on them and all that types of different things, which is why Elon specifically relocated X as well as SpaceX. I mean, he told Gavin Newsom, like, if you pass this law, I will move. And yeah, let's just say he's not, he was one of the first, but he's definitely not one of the last businesses to move out of California. Let's see. Biff Gruffly says, quote, it's amazing how lawless the Democrat Party actually is. Still, one can't expect anything else from degenerates, moral, filth pursuing its agenda. There you can see, what is this? Drag queen. It's a very hairy chest and about 18 pounds of makeup on his face, getting 112 likes. Which, talk about lost investment. The red dye, or no, sorry, not the red dye, the blue dye and the pink dye community, or those businesses, they have to be, I mean, their sales just be up like 5,000% compared to 3 or 4 years ago. I swear they are just doing great. You also have somebody named Lex Poet Romantic saying, quote, these perverted, sick SOB liberals have been abusing our children right under our noses and haven't yet been convicted of child abuse. Are all the liberal judges and prosecuting attorneys blind, actively involved, or complicit? Getting 182 likes. Perhaps a little bit of all three. Never forget, years ago we were told, this isn't happening, you're crazy. Then we were told, well, it's happening, but it's very rare. Definitely no surgeries, and it's completely reversible. Then we were told, oh, it's okay, but you have to do it because of suicides. Which, statistically speaking, and again, no one wants anyone to end their life prematurely, but statistically speaking, if you look at the rate of people ending their lives prematurely, they're exactly the same whether they get the surgeries or not. And many of these children will outgrow these trends. It's quite concerning. They're also creating a medical patient for life because a lot of these procedures require constant upkeep. So it's even scarier when you realize there's a big cultural reason Californians and leftists are pushing this, but also a big fiscal incentive for pharmaceutical companies and hospitals to continue these practices as well. There are many variables that are pushing this out and quite concerning. So we'll see, culturally speaking. Again, I think Trump winning was a big sign of the country moving in the right direction, so to say. But again, there are still millions of Americans who want this thrust upon children. And we'll see, again, I suspect this will be fought all the way up to the Supreme Court. But let me know, culturally speaking, do you think the average American is okay with children transitioning? When again, children don't have the cognitive ability to make any long-term life decisions. And some of these parents are using the rudimentary argument, oh, Timmy is asking for this. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. I was always overwhelmingly the mothers in this case. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the political part of the podcast, you have Maxine Waters harassing a guard at the Department of Education building, trying to get in, and he does have the patience of a saint. I'll give him that. This comes to us thanks to Lives the TikTok, which she says, quote, Maxine Waters harasses and taunts a guard at the Department of Education building to try to force her way inside. Which, yeah, this guy, patience of a saint. There's Maxine Waters there, looking as she always does.
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at them. Let them see you. This is Tim, look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
Giving you the ID, I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. They didn't see it. Look them.
I got to go play bingo. No, kidding. They're actually trying to waste more tax dollars at the Department of Education, which fascinating how every year the student test scores go down more and more, and yet the government says we need more money and the teachers unions say they need more money. Yeah, fun fact, the school that spends the most per student in the United States is in the the Detroit County. And yeah, let's just say they still have those test scores bar none. Fascinating. Now, that's pretty valid. I got right under 2 million views, getting at 1.8. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Let me refresh the screen. 1.8. Let's see. 2 million views. There we go. And 28,000 likes. I thought that one more can make it up to 29,000. Now, one of the first comments comes from Nick Sorter, who says, quote, she's demanding ID like she's some sort of cop. These Democrats are delusional. They have this, quote, power complex that makes them feel like gods. Getting 3.1 thousand likes, which, yeah, and then Lipstick appropriately responded. She said, suddenly they like ID, getting 4.1 thousand likes, which, again, what he should have done, and again, he has the restraint of a saint right there, not to, tell her to piss off. But, again, you could always debate if you actually, what would you do in the position. I think it'd be funny if you were to say, but Maxine, you told me that IDs are racist. I don't have one. I can't show you an ID. That's racist to ask for one. Because again, that's what their political party says. You also have Thick Eggshell saying, quote, I knew I smelled something. It's Maxine, but she looks like a turd. Well, more than usual. Got 110 likes. Paul Zazupa says, quote, wow, this is embarrassing for Waters, getting 861 likes. X Van Fleet, who's a famous individual who escaped communism in China to come to the great country of America, says, quote, pathetic. The communist Democrats resort to elderly red guards to attack the Trump administration, getting 1.1 thousand likes. What's up with this? I'll say it, the alleged planet of memes, because, again, there's no meme. They're going to strike out. Where are the memes? Your name is Planet of Memes. I'll say it's alleged Planet of Memes. Says, quote, what is their purpose of even being there? Getting 601 likes. Now, again, Trump actually recently shut it down so he could clean up shop and unveil the corruption there. The Democrat Media Tim also says, quote, oh, yeah, but they still want to go to pretend to work. That's why they want to go there and pretend to work. You got 601 likes. The Democrat Media Tim says, quote, this is a photo op and insurrection in one. A photo insurrection, getting 53 likes. Randy 1 says, quote, well, Auntie Maxine is an idiot. She actually told the homeless people to go home. The people answer, we do not have a home. That's why we're here, which, yeah, she's pretty mentally vacuous to say the least. Getting 34 likes. AJ says, want some cries with that, and it's Donald Trump AI picture of him serving up McDonald's French fries, but it's all the woke girl that cried in 2016, getting 121 likes. World Hall of Fun says, quote, this man is all of us who have ever attempted to deal with unhinged Democrats, getting 874 likes, and yeah, he looks pretty frustrated, but maintaining exceptional well composure. Let's see. Scrolling down, what is this here? Alex says, the Department of Education hero we didn't know we needed. How many memes of this dude are going to be made into? What do you think he was thinking during all this nonsense? And yeah, I got 234 likes. He was probably just thinking, God, this lady's insufferable. Why didn't I bring earplugs to this event? Again, you're not, a pretty good pair of earplugs, the little foam ones, is less than $1 per unit. Truth be told, I think last time we gave them out for free at an event, it was 28 cents per unit. And when I say per unit, it's a pair of those little foam earplugs. So yeah, for about a quarter, about a gumball, you could have gotten those. He's probably thinking, God, why didn't I bring earplugs? Why? I mean, scrolling down more and more. 18-wheeler Chris says, quote, this is all of us whenever a Democrat opens their mouth. And it's the same guy looking frustrated, getting 1.5 thousand likes. Let's see. Southern Gal Powell says, quote, women who thinks IDs are racist demand to see an ID, getting 29 likes. Yep. Again, such a lost opportunity. Why didn't he say that? You also have the Waco kid. As a picture from Jim from The Office doing the whiteboard meme, in which she says, quote, when you're fighting fraud and someone yells stop, that's who's doing the fraud, getting 140 likes, which, yeah, every year we spend more on the Department of Education and they terrible results. Also, you ever wonder why your school doesn't have cool things like archery or competitive shooting anymore? Because the bully known as the federal government says, if you choose to do those things, we won't give you any federal funding for your schools. Very similar to how they bullied states into having an age 21 limit on alcohol purchases. It was because if you wanted funding for your highways from the feds, you had to change it to the age of 21. Yep. Somebody named Premier Crude says, harassing, taunting, and screeching are her tactics. And it's Maxine Waters. Looks like 2 pictures of her. One might be from an alien movie, getting 241 likes. Let's see here. One more. Another picture of Maxine Waters looking more frustrated than usual. Posted by the Stop the Insanity. Says, quote, the face you make when the person you hate is making the country you hate great again. Getting 107 likes. So let's see here. I have one more. 50 Trump says, me in the corner, Spider-Man, well, Mamea, Spider-Man shouting. It says, don't give Maxine Waters anything. She's a racist, riot inciting C-word. Getting 652 likes, which, yep. But we'll see what happens to the Department of Education. Let me know, are you a fan? Do you think they do an exceptional job? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, you have AOC suffering a meltdown saying that the Democrats actually outnumber Trump, Elon, and Republicans. Which, well, in terms of people who are here in the country, people are making fun of her. She's actually probably right if you include illegals. Now, if you want to delineate that in terms of who are law-abiding voters, then obviously she is wrong. Now, this comes as things to libs at TikTok, in which she says, quote, AOC is now going on a rant about Trump, Elon, and Republicans, screeching, we outnumber them, we outnumber them. And of course, in reality, you can see the beautiful electoral map. Or, let's be honest, if Trump were talking about this, he would probably say, the most beautiful map I've seen in decades. Beautiful, so much red, so much unification. The Democrats were so stupid. They pushed RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard right into the Republican Party. We are now the party of unity. Look how unified that map is. Only the states that don't have voter ID, coincidentally, they voted for Kamala Harris. Only took California 12 to 15 days to count their votes. Pathetic, obviously, which, yeah, fascinating how an overwhelming majority, I think, what was it, like 14 of the 15 states Kamala Harris won, did not require voter ID. I'm sure that's just a coincidence, of course. It's not like they would ever cheat or anything. And again, the results was Trump 312 to Kamala Harris 226 electoral votes. And Trump also won the popular election with 77,302,580 votes compared to Kamala Harris getting, quite concerning still, 17,613 votes, which, again, it's actually quite concerning that people still voted for her, considering, I mean, her running mate, Tim Walz, literally said there's no guarantee of free speech. She wanted to tax unrealized gains and pretty much wanted to just had no modicum of intelligence and couldn't speak articulately, which is coming from me. I mean, if I speak more articulately than Kamala Harris, that's saying something. Now, in terms of AOC's speech, I apologize. It might feel like an eternity of pain and misery. However, it looks like it's less than 40 seconds of dialogue from AOC. So it might feel like hell, but we'll get through it together. Let's see here. Oh, I'm sorry. I should put a visual disclaimer. Let's see what she has to say.
Just like these problems can seem comprehensive and also overwhelming and complex, understand that we outnumber them.
False.
We outnumber them, okay? The people outnumber the 1%. And it's not just about 1% and 99. It's not just about that too. Also, everyday people of all sorts of income brackets also overwhelm the number of the corrupt, okay? Understand our strategic advantages in this moment. We outnumber them. Do not forget that. We outnumber them so dramatically that they have to try to control media and communication channels and apps.
I mean, I make fun of AOC being as mentally vacuous as a donkey. I mean, she's trying to say that Republicans control all the media outlets. Really? Fox News is barely conservative. I would say they were mostly left-leaning these days when you've seen the kind of things they publish and the internal memos they pass around. What do you have? I mean, you have X, formerly known as Twitter. that actually allows free speech. I don't think that means a right-wing thing. And what else? You have rumble.com, which is an exceptional streaming platform. I love it. But when she's talking about, who controls all the media? Big tech. Where do they donate overwhelmingly? 90 plus percentile. 95 plus percent Democrats. Who was giving all that money, all that government money, all that quote unquote aid money? Oh yeah, it was going to major media outlets from the Democrat government, all to the media channels that are owned by liberals. I'm pushing leftist ideologies. And yet she's saying, oh yeah, all the right-wingers, they control the media. What?
Etc. Because they want to and need to invoke docility, passivity in the masses in order for them to get away with what they're doing.
I'm actually shocked. That's like the biggest word she's ever said. That's actually pretty impressive for her. I'll give her some kudos. She's actually expanding her vernacular, which, yeah, it's pretty impressive for her. And I'd say it went moderately, pretty viral. I got right under 1 million views and 16,000 likes, with one of the first comments coming from Paul Suzupa saying, quote, AOC is trying to incite mob violence. It's why she's what she always does. Getting 390 likes. Canadian Republican, such a sad SOB, stuck behind enemy lines with that tyrant Justin Trudeau, with big government, big taxing, and of course disarming the people there. I'll give this freedom. Oh, I'm already following him. That's why he's at the top. Canadian Republican. He'll be happy once he becomes the 51st state. We give them the Second Amendment of freedom of speech and more. Got 5 likes though for saying she's completely delusional. Clown World says math is hard for AOC, getting 1.3 thousand likes. True. AKA says, quote, last I checked, President Trump won the election and popular vote. So no, AOC, we outnumber you. Getting 6.5 thousand likes. Base Electrician says, quote, AOC, the people overwhelm the number of corrupt. The people voted to end corruption in November, getting 123 likes. Yep. Play of Memes F- today. They again do not have a meme for us. A little disappointed. It's not like I'm entitled. It's their name, right? Is it me? Am I expecting too much from the alleged planet of memes? Now, this alleged planet of memes says, quote, AOC is suffering hard from TDS, EDS, and DDS, getting 582 likes. You have Nom Nom saying she's the next level. It's a picture of AOC. It says, that's not just stupid, that's AOC stupid, getting 28 likes. Let's see. EF Hunton parody account says, if she only had a brain. It's an AI-generated picture of AOC dressed up as, what was it? The Tin Man? From, I was going to say, yeah, is the Tin Man. Yeah. From, I was about to say, geez Louise, it's been a long day. What was that old classic movie? Yellow Brick Road? Yeah, The Wizard of Oz. Wow, that was a brain fart for sure. That got 265 likes, which, yeah. Again, I mean, I'll give her credit. She's good at social media and getting people to vote for her. Yeah, she keeps winning, and she's very popular on social media. Megan Michelle says, quote, what the hell does she think she's going to do? She ran screaming R-word when she was nowhere near the Capitol building on January 6th. What the hell does she think she's going to do up against the most armed party in the country, getting 115 likes? You have a picture of just Trump pointing to the electoral map, where it shows by county, the United States is overwhelmingly red, with the exception of the cities, getting 184 likes. Carson Crow says, math escapes AOC as completely as politics and facts do, getting 117 likes. Romanti says, raise your hand if AOC is a waste of space. And it's AOC with the salute that everyone is saying is, well, they said Elon was giving the Nazi salute when, again, every politician does the same rudimentary salute. Got 228 likes for that. Let's see. You also have Florida Mick saying, quote, AOC had Twitter remove this photo. Keep it alive. She hates it. And say, kind of like a caricature they get on the boardwalk of her. And it says 213 likes for that. You have Florida 1 says, quote, the libs are scattered and have zero cohesion in grassroots. Protecting deportation if illegal crime is insane. MAGA is grassroots and only getting stronger, getting 63 likes. The Truth Man also says, nothing is more pathetic than an elected official sitting in a room by herself, filming a selfie saying between every other word, between every other word, the people of New York should be embarrassed, getting 80 likes, which, and that is actually the fascinating thing about public speaking once people get into politics, is kind of ironic and funny. If you get into speaking classes, which, believe it or not, I've been in them, you could say obviously they didn't work, but believe it or not, there's been a modicum of improvement throughout the years. But when you take speech classes, they actually, one of the first things they do is they want to help you remove the filler words like and ah and those types of things, so you sound more articulate and intelligent. It's kind of funny though, if you get into politics, they then teach you the opposite, so you look more relatable to the common man, with Barack Obama being one of the most famous ones in terms of him inserting those vernacular into his speeches to appear more relatable. So, I mean, I'm not going to fault it too much for adding likes and ums. It sounds silly, but it's actually what politicians are trained to do, as silly as it sounds. Let's see, not too many contrarian notes here. So this only got 1 like. I think it deserves more than that though. I'll give it 2 likes. This comes from Pete S, who simply has a screenshot of AOC looking confused, which again, you can screenshot anything and make them look bad. Some just have some have a disproportionate amount of awkward frames than others, including myself. But yeah, it's her. She looks silly, and the thought bubble is her thinking of the sipping bird, where it's the plastic bird that automatically bobs up and down out of the drinking water. And that got 1, but I'll give another one. So I got 2 likes. One of my favorite recent memes comes from Viral Architect saying easily distracted. And it's AOC standing out, it's photoshopped, but it's AOC crying standing outside of a 7-Eleven or convenience store. She's crying by the ice chest. It says AOC discovers ICE has detention centers outside every 7-Eleven, getting 19 likes. So yeah, we'll see if this actually, and again, maybe this gets her some more donations and accolades from the Democrat Party because they appreciate the messaging. But overall, this looks pretty silly. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, the CDC now shows adoption as a suggestion when you search for abortion. Now, this comes with thanks to Libs, a TikTok, in which she says, quote, new, searches for abortion on the CDC website now prompts a suggestion to look up adoption. Talk about changes in the government. As the youth might say, the CDC is becoming based. And they say, literally, quote, you look up abortion, says, quote, results return for abortion from allcdc.com. Also try adoption. And I don't know why this didn't get as many views as I thought it would, but it only got 350,000 views and 8.4 thousand likes, which, again, I think this is a big deal culturally and politically, because, again, let's be honest, when you look at the Democrat Party in the previous administration with the CDC, I mean, they love abortion so much. Outside of the DNC convention, they had an abortion mobile. And that's not a dark humor joke. They literally had a mobile abortion unit that also performed vasectomies for men. So abortion and sterilization is at the heart of the Democrat Party. As crazy as that sounds, and shoot, 20 years ago, that would have been, I mean, no one would have agreed with that. They would have thought outrageous, left and right. Now it seems just the right and some folks in the middle who think that's as egregious and outrageous. Now, one of the first ones comes from lifenews.com, which, wow, A+ for marketing. You know exactly what they're up to. They are a pro-life news outlet fighting abortion. How do they only have 366 followers? I'll give them a follow. Don't forget to give me a follow at The Topping Show on X, in which they simply just circle the adoption, getting 769 likes. Nick Sorter says this is awesome, getting 384 likes. Jack says this is the way, getting 128 likes. Paul Zupa says winning, getting 19 likes. Yamos Chong says brilliant, getting 68 likes. Going down more and more. Barefoot Pregnant, appropriate name, you know exactly what she's all about, and her current status. Now, she says, quote, adoption is always an option, and it's not good to see it, it's good to see it promoted alongside abortion, getting 2 likes. Well, they only get 2, make it 3. Cool Christian engineer, A+ marketing, you know exactly what he's up to as well. I can't but guess maybe electrical engineer, since he does have a light bulb emoji in his name. But nevertheless, he says, quote, because a person's a person no matter how small. Is a picture of a uterus, not uterus, geez Louise. I'm not getting the vernacular right today. It might be a funny, sad competition. Who speaks more articulately, AOC or myself? I might give her a run for her money, not in a good way. And it's a picture of a fetus. It says, because a person's a person no matter how small, getting 9 likes. Escort says, yes, and it's a picture of a premature baby, and it has a MAGA hat. It says, I made it, Democrats didn't get me, getting 23 likes. We also have America Angel says, quote, as a former foster child, I implore people to think about adopting children from a foster care or even fostering children themselves. Children deserves the chance to life, and it takes a community to raise a child, getting 13 likes. And see what I did there? I wasn't even trying, and inserted the as a filler word. And you also have Robert Lewis saying, quote, honestly, neither of those two options seems to be within the proper purview of the CDC. They should be tracking infectious diseases and not much else, but a step in the right direction, I suppose. A contrarian statement somewhat, nevertheless, getting 11 likes. Let's see here. Derek Evans says this is what I call winning, getting 229 likes. Representative Riley Moore says, quote, abortion is not healthcare. Glad we're finally making that clear, getting 12 likes. Jeez Louise, this is how crazy leftists have become. Crazy Vibes says, quote, if you had to say one thing about this lady, what would it be? You'd say, I was about to say disgusting, that's kind of implied in leftism, but more disgusting than average leftist, although doesn't have pink or blue hair, and it's surprising. And she has a t-shirt in which she proclaims proudly, I've had 21 abortions, which, again, that's so morally disgusting, I can barely articulate words, which is more than usual. Which, yeah, and again, Democrats used to be more pro-life, believe it or not. A couple decades ago, they weren't down with the abortion. They didn't brag about it. Again, Clinton, the standard, again, not overly pro-life, but the standard used to be for the Democrat Party, they said it should be safe, legal, and rare, implying it wasn't a good thing. And nowadays, again, this isn't all Democrats, but you have a lot of them that are bombastically proud to say they had abortion. Which, again, it's one of those things where you could debate how much the man should be involved. You could, it's a lot of people do, that you debate, the timing of it, but it is almost unfathomable that people are proud of it and think it's a good thing. Like, I understand some people will make I would argue sometimes, the rudimentary argument that it has to be done for medical reasons or to save the mother's life, which some might debate, the ultimate sacrifice is a mother giving her life for their child. But, overwhelmingly, most people didn't think it's a good thing. They thought it was a regrettable thing. You weren't happy about it. They would argue for their reasons. Some people would argue for other reasons. It was the age-old debate. And now they're bragging about it. To me, that's been one of the biggest cultural demises and political shifts we've seen in our lifetime. And it's quite concerning. Now, they only got 1 like, but I think it does exemplify how leftism is praising it so much. I mean, shoot, probably half the election dollars they raised during the previous electoral cycle was saying that, your right for abortion is on the table during this presidential election. More or less from Democrats, it wasn't. It's a states' rights thing. That's why in some states you have abortion that's more restricted or banned because people want, in their views, I would agree, that they want to protect the life of the child. And they have other states where they want abortion up to the day of, like Minnesota. That's what the people there has voted for. And if you want to make change at your local level, go to a nice Hobby Lobby, get some nice high-quality card stock, and, appropriately, peacefully let your opinion be known. Get, set up some ballots, get some signatures. But it's on a state's level. It's a state's topic. It's states' rights issue again. So let's see if there's any more contrarian statements. Erin Elizabeth Health Nut News says, quote, my birth mother had an abortion with me and I survived and was subsequently put up for adoption. I approve this message. 84 likes. I was the 84th. Let's see. Sir Winston Templemount says, finally, an administration that celebrates instead of life instead of glorifying death, getting 6 likes. Let's see. I'll do one more. Mr. Anderson, good name. His pronouns are anti-communism. Says confirmed, and it's a cartoon of St. Peter at the pearly gates, or heaven, if you don't know the pearly gates reference, saying, quote, sorry, no, killing unborn children is not actually healthcare. Getting 5 likes. And again, you would never see this on the CDC's website, during the last administration. And we'll see, again, that a lot of people lost a lot of respect for the CDC for a myriad of reasons. Don't get me started. But it'll be interesting to see all these government entities that historically have become so biased, so corrupt, so weaponized. Are they beyond repair? Or do you think they could gain any semblance of accountability or reputation? I mean, I think a lot of people are going to see this as a step in the right direction, but let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Toyota recalling about 140,000 vehicles, which is quite disappointing to say the least. But again, they're known for one thing alone, reliability, which used to be the Toyota way, which, again, they are the #1 automotive manufacturer on the planet by number of units sold, so it's understandable. They'll have more recalls than others in terms of volume of units, but still, you're known for one thing, Toyota, bulletproof reliability, lasting 400,000 plus miles, and yet you keep having more and more recalls. It doesn't bode well for that reputation. Now, this comes to us thanks to Fernando, who's a writer at USA Today, subsequently reposted by Yahoo News, which somehow still in business. The OG search engine lives on, even though it's a shadow of its former self. Nevertheless, they say, quote, more than 140,000 Toyota and Lexus vehicles are recalled. See the list below, which again, for those folks who might not realize it, Lexus is a luxury brand of Toyota. They fully own it. There's a lot of part sharing between the two. And unfortunately, that's why a lot of the recalls, well, a lot of these different car companies affect multiple brands within their portfolio. Now, diving into the specific one, they say, quote, more than 140,000 Toyota and Lexus vehicles are being recalled, according to the press release. Toyota said the recalls include certain models of the Tacoma four-wheel drive vehicles, as well as their Camry and Lexus RX models. The recall involves multiple faults, with Toyota saying that they recalled the Tacoma vehicle could have, geez Louise, they say that the Tacoma vehicle could have damaged rear brake hoses if there is, quote, enough buildup of mud and dirt alongside the rear wheels. Which, for those who don't realize, the Tacoma is a truck. Which, yes, a lot of trucks these days are just pavement queens that go to Home Depot once a month to get some mulch. I understand that. But there are a lot of people who still use these for farms, for the actual employment, and for, using the actual bed of the truck. I know it's rare, and some of you like to take it off-roading. And I love the Tacoma. It's the last truck you can get with a stick shift in the United States. That's ridiculous. That's the definition of rare. It's the last model you can get. And you can get the fun green one too, in terms of the color. So, someday I'd love to get it myself. But yeah, so they're saying if you get too much mud on it and a buildup of mud and dirt alongside the rear wheels, you damage the rear brake hoses. Which, again, especially if you're going off-roading, which I would argue a fair amount of these people are doing, like, who's in the quality assurance department? It's almost as bad as saying, like, oh yeah, you can't put anything in the truck bed. Which, again, for like a Tesla Cybertruck, yeah, it's probably fine. Most of them won't put anything in there anyway. But nevertheless, for a real truck, yeah, kind of a big deal. Now they say the recalled Camrys and Lexus RX vehicles could also have second row center seatbelts that might be damaged during the manufacturing. Jeez. The company says it will notify affected customers of both recalls by early April 2025. Or, of course, just tune into the show. We're usually a couple months ahead of those rudimentary paper mailers that they send out. They also note that replacements of both vehicles will be done free of charge because, again, it's a factory recall. It's always included under their cost. Again, this does not bode well for the brand reputation because, again, it's going to inconvenience consumers. This isn't something they can fix with a over-the-air software update, but you have to take it to a dealership. Dealerships, believe it or not, they hate warranty work because they're paid a fraction of their standard price and they earn a fraction of what they usually get. Because, again, this money is coming from Toyota. The parent company is paying the dealerships for this warranty work. But they could be upselling the customers on other accessories, other maintenance that actually does make them more profit. So they're angry because they're having a opportunity cost because they could be selling more profitable services and upgrades, but they can't because their time is being wasted with this stuff. So the dealerships don't like it either. Now, the total vehicles that are recalled include the 2025 Camry, 2025 My Lexus NX, 2024 My Lexus RX, 2025 My Lexus RX, 2024 Toyota Tacoma, 2025 Toyota Tacoma. Ouch. Which, yeah, not great. Now, interestingly enough, we actually do have some fun comments here, so go ahead and read them. Daisy says, quote, Toyota has never followed through on a recall involving battery housing from a couple years ago. Press units were out, notices were sent to owners, still nothing. Dealerships say there's no information. It's not the company it once was. They got 23 upvotes and 1 downvote. M says, quote, when they were made in Japan, less recalls, but tariffs made them bring factories to the US, Canada, and Mexico, where worker quality is different. I have seen a difference from working at the dealership, getting 39 upvotes and 5 downvotes, which, yep, I think there's also a cultural reason. It's not just, I think there's a big cultural reason why labor does vary throughout the globe and other countries. And again, I guess to a certain degree, you have to generalize a little bit. In Japan, they really take pride in their work. Also, modern Japanese vehicles, to their detriment, like other vehicles, they have so many stupid components in there to make it modern. I mean, the modern vehicle has between like 20 to 30,000 individual components. Because again, there's all the stupid accessories and widgets that people claim they want. They make the vehicle more expensive and thereby also less reliable because there's more failure points. I can't help but think I would say most vehicle reliability peaked around the 2000 to maybe 2005 era. I mean, shoot, my parents bought a 2001 Honda Accord new. To this day, still runs like a champ. I think it's bulletproof or darn near. Again, there's not much bells and whistles. It was disappointing they got the automatic transmission. Ugh. And it's a straight, 4 cylinders. No heated seats. They did have cruise control, fancy at the time. But again, it's pretty bare bones. Not a lot of things could go wrong. with more and more modern vehicles, they just put more and more stuff in it. So it's understandable why they go wrong. But yeah, I think there are reasons why vehicles made in different countries may also be a little bit less reliable as well. Now, Eric says, quote, my 2005 Camry has not been to a dealer since I drove it off the lot. It has 290,000 miles and still drives like new. Nothing but routine owner maintenance, which, yep, I was going to say, you wanted the best bang for your buck, get a 4-banger Toyota from the 2000s era, and it just keeps running, swap out the oil, treat her right, it'll take care of you. And again, I know there are a lot of consumers that want these bells and whistles, and manufacturers think they have to have it. Also, the government's kneecapping them with more and more, fuel economy and all these other regulations for emissions, which also make it less reliable. So I understand there are other variables that they can't control, like those regulations as much. So that is a contributing factor why they're less reliable as well. But yeah, again, Toyota's known for one thing. They have more and more of these recalls. And again, it's chisel away that brand. So, and again, for this one, how do you not just do a little extra work in terms of, taking this off-road for a couple days and, seeing how mud would affect it? I don't know why this especially rubs me the wrong way. Gotta say, that is certainly Toyota, the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how to make the show better and better. Friendly reminder, Saturday night, February 22nd, I'm going to have my first Q&A live stream. I'll get a specific time out in the next couple of days. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.